Am I the a-hole for telling my kid he is welcome to move out if he has a problem with me eating his food? My son lives with me to save money while he is just starting out after college. He has a full-time job which pays him rather well. He probably earns 1/3 of what I do, but I have been at my job a long time and I am not entry-level. He helps out around the house, and he helps his mom with errands and such. One of the things he helps with is Costco runs. My wife likes to have him along because then he can do all the heavy lifting. I like when he goes because then I do not have to do the heavy lifting. I guess last time when he saw some instant ramen and added it to the cart. Not really a big deal. Yesterday I was up late and I was peckish. I went into the pantry and saw the ramen. There were 6 bowls, so I took one and made some up with cold roast chicken, fresh green onions, and a couple of soft-boiled eggs. My son saw the bowl in the garbage and went off on me for eating his food. I thought he was joking, so I told him to piss off. But it turns out that he was serious. He was screaming at me over some $2 ramen. My wife heard our fight and came to see what was up. She tried to placate him by saying she would go to Costco and get some more. This is when I found out the price $12 for 6 bowls. I took out my wallet and tried to give him $2 for his bowl of food that I stole. My wife said I was being ridiculous since she had paid for them. I must admit that this set me off. The little jackass was yelling at me for eating food that I paid for. My wife does not work. When the kids were little, we decided that she would be a stay-at-home mom and I would work my ass off to provide. She worked amazingly hard to keep us up and running when I was starting out in my career, and she deserves her time now. So when I say she does not work, I mean it. We have a lady who comes by and does the cleaning and laundry. My wife makes maybe 2 meals a week by her own choice. I pay a meal prep company for most of our meals, and I like to cook fresh food for myself and the family as well on the weekends. And quite obviously, we have easy cooked meals from the store. I asked him if he was really so petty that he was upset with me for eating something I paid for. He said his mom had bought it for him. I said that she used our money, not his, to pay for it. He said that didn't matter and that I should have asked. I could not take it anymore, and I said he needed to move out and pay for his own stuff if he was going to be such an a-hole. At that point he shut up because I think he realized he fucked up. He said he was sorry and that he did not mean it. He went to his room and shut the door. My wife said I was an a-hole to threaten him with kicking him out over some ramen. I said he was being a disrespectful prick, and he was lucky I did not follow through. She is still mad at me, but my daughter, who is 6 years younger than my son, says that I am right and that she is always getting yelled at for touching his food, which I pay for.
You're not the a-hole. The food was not even his, so having tantrum because you ate one lousy bowl of ramen was wildly inappropriate and rude. He needed to move out and pay for his own stuff if he was going to be such an a-hole. Yep, and that does not to equate to. My wife said I was an a-hole to threaten him with kicking him out over some ramen. No, you did not threaten to kick him out over ramen. You told him to make a choice between stopping with the disrespectful H behavior or finding another place to live. She tried to placate him by saying she would go to Costco and get some more. Good grief, your wife needs to stop coddling her adult son. He is out of college, so he is at least 22 years old. He's behaving like a 3-year-old who was denied a lollipop.
He's 24.
You're not wrong, I guess, but I don't like you.
Right, who calls their kid all those names?
People who have kids that are fucking pricks, that's who.
Not the a-hole. If he is old enough to be out of school and have a job, he is old enough to buy his own ramen. Yelling at everyone for eating food he did not pay for as an adult is childish.
Everyone sucks here, but you suck more than your son. Apparently he considered the ramen a personal gift or favor. It's not about who paid for it, it's about your wife buying something expressly for him which had made him happy. I think he should have made that clear, and not leaving it in the shared pantry would have been better, assuming there isn't a rule that he can't keep any food in his room, in which case he'd have no choice but leave it in the shared pantry. But I also think that it would have been so easy for you to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I assumed it was for everyone," instead of escalating things like this. You're clinging way too much on who pays what, in my opinion. As if who pays for the ramen, your wife, not you, by the way, unless you consider that she doesn't own anything because you're the one making the money, meant that you can dictate how things go in the house. That's not the way you get a peaceful home, it's controlling and unhealthy. The threatening of throwing him out is in the same vein. Why would you throw your own son out of your house over a mere disagreement? Is that really the kind of relationship you want with people in your life? It feels like behind all of this little episode, there's a little bit of that transpiring. The living arrangement doesn't work. If you're gonna use your status to shut your adult son up whenever it's convenient to you, it's just bad, all around. The good thing is, I think he'll soon reconsider his living situation. If he's not allowed to disagree with you without being threatened to be on the street, I think he's soon going to prefer a friend's couch to your presence.
OP was quick to pay the $2 when he realized his son was genuinely upset and not joking. So I don't see this as him using his status to shut up his adult son. I see this as him realizing his son is an a-hole who will scream at him for eating food he didn't even pay for. OP just needs to start charging him rent and utilities. This wasn't a simple disagreement. This was a freeloading son yelling at his father over $2, which the father was quick to pay when he realized he was serious. OP had some feelings that he was giving his son a cushy setup to save for his future and got mad over $2, but he was still going to pay it. OP shut down when it came out that it was his money that paid for the food that he was getting screamed at. It speaks very lowly of the son's character that his parents giving him free housing, free food, and plenty of time to save up, and his reaction is to scream angrily over $2.
Am I the a-hole for forcing my daughters to share a birthday party? I'm a single mom to triplets, 15-year-old females. Usually for our birthdays, I give them $150 each to take their friends for dinner, and they go to different restaurants. For their sweet 16, they want a big party with a DJ, a venue, and lots of invites. A venue would be around $500, and with all the additional things like decorations, DJ, invites and food, it would be around $1,200 to $1,400, and that's the cheapest we can do. I can afford that once, but they want 3 individual parties, which would be over $4,000. I can't really afford $4,000 for birthday parties, so I told them no. I could throw 3 smaller parties, but it would be a huge hassle deciding who gets to have the party on their actual birthday, as I can't plan 3 parties in one day, and they have a lot of common family friends. I was willing to do it anyway, but a smaller party means no venue, no DJ, cheaper food and drinks, and my daughters aren't okay with that. I've tried explaining to them I can't afford it, but they just told me to get an extra job. One of them is mad they can't have their own sweet 16s. I told them the budget was $1,200 and they could figure out how to spend it. Should I get an extra job? Am I the a-hole?
Not the a-hole, but you definitely fucked up raising your daughters. How can you be that entitled? Even $1,200 is a lot. They are 16, old enough to get a job. If they want to spend more money than what you have, they should work for it. This is insane. I'm actually pissed off just by reading that. Edit, I shouldn't blame the mother for this. I can't assume that she did anything wrong. Sometimes you can do everything right and your kids can still turn out to be bad people.
I don't think my parents spent $1,200 in total for all our birthday parties, and I'm one of 6 kids. $1,200 for one party is fucking insane.
I've told them to get a weekend job, but that would mean less time with friends, so they refused. At this point, I'm putting my foot down, and I've told them I won't spend past $1,200, and they need to find a way to celebrate within that budget.
They just told me to get an extra job. And with that, their chance of any kind of party is gone. Not the a-hole.
Honestly, the main reason they act this way is because we were a lot more well off before my husband left me. We could afford to throw our kids individual parties previously, and now that we can't anymore, they are angry.
So where's their dad in all this?
They meet him occasionally, but he basically went broke during COVID and has a lot less money now. He isn't able to fund for a party either, and I don't know if I'd want him to.
I would just cancel the whole thing. If they are so ungrateful and entitled that $1,200 is not enough, they can go without or pay it for themselves. They don't want to get a weekend job because it means they won't get to hang out with friends, but they think it's all right if you pick up an extra job just to pay for their wants. Edit, you cannot get any more selfish than that, and they don't deserve a party. Go back to the original, $150 each.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.